Welcome to the Game Changers Podcast, your connection to the world's most powerful influencers in leadership, personal development, and entrepreneurship. Here's your host, professional athlete, author, speaker, and game changer himself, Rennie Curran. It's time to get your head in the game.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Game Changer Podcast. My name is Rennie Curran, former professional athlete, speaker, author, life and business coach, and most of all, game changer. I can't believe we're already 7 episodes in. It's crazy. I feel like I just started the other day, and it's been amazing to just learn some of the stories from the guests who I brought on the show, some people from my personal network who have shared these stories with me that I didn't even know about them. And have given me so many different insights. And so it's been great. And I appreciate your support, everybody who's been listening in, everybody who's been following up with questions, just letting me know their excitement, telling me what's good and bad about the show. I really, really appreciate it. And just to continue on with this next show, I want to talk about transition. And transition is something that's very, very near and dear to my heart because I personally went through transition pretty recently with professional football, being a player who played since I was about 10 years old to now being 28 years old and having to basically retire, move on. And one of the most powerful things that helped me in terms of transitioning was the fact that I, as they say, did not put all my eggs in one basket. I diversified my skill set. And so that's one of my tips that I have for you this week is to make sure that you're diversifying yourself, that you're not just if you're in that corporate world job, if you're an athlete, for my athletes out there listening, making sure that you're developing new skill sets, developing transferable skills that can be applied to any area of life. So when it does come time for you, because it will, trust me, whether you're in the corporate world and you think your job is secure, definitely as an athlete, you're going to have to transition, whether that company you're with gets bought out or whether there's disruptive innovation in terms of technologies. You got the Ubers, you got the Airbnbs of the world that come out of nowhere. So you have to be prepared for transition before it actually happens. And that's one of the things that helped me was the fact that I was proactive and not reactive. So definitely think that in terms of your career, and it will allow you to, better prepare yourself and be more at peace. Because like I said, when that does happen, a lot of times there's no notice, there's no, heads up as far as when transition will come. So you really want to make sure that you're in a position to where when it does happen, that you're not one of those guys or individuals out there who's hitting that panic button, who's going crazy, who's going through depression, trying to figure out what they're going to do next. But you're one of those people, you want to make sure that when it does happen, it's not even really a transition. You're just really diverting your time to something that you've already been doing before. And you already have that network built, and you already have the ability to pick up the phone and call people within your network because you've empowered it. You've stayed in contact with people and tied to your community and different things like that. So that's why I just want to share about transition. I got a lot of exciting things coming up in the future. And one of the things is I'm going to actually be releasing my first children's book. So I wanted to tell you guys about that. That's actually going to be launched August 3rd. Here in Atlanta, I'll be doing an event at the Center for Puppetry Arts. And that'll be right in around the Midtown area. I'll be not only releasing my book, and I actually did it with my daughter, but I'll also be doing a awards gala to honor some children in the community who are doing some great things and doing a school supply giveaway. So it's going to be a really, really exciting time. If you want more information about that, my website is just my name, renniecurran.com, RennieCurran.com. And so without any further ado, I want to get into my guest who recently as well, just like me, had his transition. A really good friend of mine who I'm really, really excited for you to hear from. A guy who is like last week, like Jesse Tuggle. He's also from Griffin, Georgia as well. So tune into this interview. I hope it inspires you. I hope it encourages you. And I hope it helps you to further your career path as a I'm so excited to welcome our next guest onto the Game Changer podcast. This next special gentleman is straight out of Griffin, Georgia. He played his college football at Troy, Detroit University, was drafted second round by Carolina Panthers, went on to play with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears, and recently he made his transition and retiring from professional football and has made his transition into a completely different career field, but at the same time, he's still a game changer, both on and off the field. And this next gentleman is also responsible for changing many lives. When you see a guy like me that's might be coming through to an event with a nice fresh haircut, this is a guy who's responsible. This is Mr. Everything Superb himself. I'd like you all to welcome my next guest, Mr. Sherrod Martin. How you doing, Sherrod?
Yeah, well, that sounds good, boy.
Right?
That little reflection sounds good. I got a lot more work to do, but so far, you know what I'm saying, that's a good foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you so much for joining us. You're a guy who, when I look at your career, man, and where you are now and the things that you're doing and the little bit of time that we've gotten to know each other, man, just somebody who I have amazing respect for when it comes to just transitioning and rebranding yourself. So that's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about during this time on the show. But first and foremost, before we get into what you're doing now, man, I want to just hear about your foundation and about your story and just kind of how you came up, man.
Oh, man. Came up in Griffin, Georgia.
Yeah.
Home of the Bears.
Okay.
As far as my athletic career, we're a small town located 30 minutes south of Atlanta that is well known for having guys playing a professional in the NFL. We have several guys we have one guy that was drafted first round. We have a guy that went free agent, played 12 years in the NFL. We have a Hall of Famer with the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Rayfield Wright. And coming up, it was just like, by all means, like you can get there. There's more than one way to get there. You just got to find your path. So when I graduated from school, I only had, 2 offers, one from Memphis and one from Western Carolina. I played in no All-Star games. I had 0 stars. I went on nobody charts.
Wow.
Memphis bailed out on me last minute. Troy came through last minute. I chose Troy over Western Carolina because Troy at least had a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Western Carolina was like up in the mountains, And also I knew they were going to get a chance to compete, against schools like Georgia, Florida, etc. I picked up my clippers in the 10th grade. I started cutting hair in the 10th grade. So when I got that scholarship to go to Troy University, man, I started cutting hair in the dorms for,
Awesome.
That's where I got my money for food and gas. And next thing you know, I had one good thing happen after another, man. I did have my share of injuries. I had 2 torn labrums, surgery on both shoulders, broken hand. And like I said, I had one good thing happen after another. I got invited to the Senior Bowl. I had to play corner there, got invited to the Combine. And, next thing you know, just a little Sherrod Martin out of Griffin, Georgia, with a whole bunch of prayers and faith and hard work that, God blessed me with an opportunity to go second round. And that's when that career took off.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing your story, and a lot of things stuck out to me, and I'm definitely have some questions following up from what you just said, but one question I got to ask, and it's aligned with the show, is just what was that, it could be, 2 or 3, but what were those game-changing moments in your life where either on or off the field where that light bulb just clicked on for you, or it just kind of transcended just where you were, man? It could be on or off the field. I'd love to hear about that.
Well, I will say this. Sometimes, God has a way of humbling you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And for me, it was through my injuries. Through my injuries, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from I always felt like I was behind and everybody was ahead of me, so it made me work that much harder.
Mm-hmm.
It made me take time to slow down because, you know, only place I was able to be was on my back looking
Yeah.
up at the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So it made me sit down and reflect, you know, of what's going on around me when everything was moving so fast.
Yeah.
And, you know, it kind of, it's times in your life like you think it's all you.
Yep.
You know, you think that, oh, I'm the reason why, you know, I'm getting this opportunity. I'm the one out there making them tackles. I'm the one who, you know, doing this and doing that. And then, you know, there's moments in your life where when you look back, you know, for one, it was God.
Yep.
For two, I had a lot of people that had their hands in on me. You know what I'm saying? So when they say you're being raised by the village,
oh yeah,
like when I think about it, from my parents,
yeah.
from my coaches to my sister, my brother, you know what I'm saying, even down to my friends, even down to the people that, you know, I didn't get along with. Everybody helped shape and mold me to the guy that I was.
Yeah,
you know,
that's awesome.
So I would say like stuff like that. It really made me like just be a game changer and just be very humble.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, bro. I appreciate you sharing that. And one thing, of course, that stuck out to me about what you said was just how adversity just leads to that growth and just can be a game changing moment when you, like you said, you kind of in that time of uncertainty, or you don't really know, you know, things are out of your control. Just how that leads to the greatest growth in your faith and just who you are personally, and just even you said the people who helped you, who helped mold you. I always say that, man, that nobody's self made. Man, so many times we get that confused, especially as athletes, man, because we're so wired to, you know, continue to fight and push forward and to basically depend on ourselves. So it's great to hear you say,
True.
you know, pay homage to those people who poured into you. I'm the same way, man. We have, you know, the coach, the teachers, the parents, everybody who poured into me, man. So that's awesome, bro. And
And you might not even see eye to eye with them,
exactly,
but it still paid off because, you know, it ain't always about how you feel, you know, because sometimes you gotta look at stuff from another way. So yeah, definitely I feel you on that.
That's awesome, man. Well, next question I got for you, man, is through everything that you've been through with your career and where you are now. What have you learned about leadership?
What have I learned about leadership?
Yeah.
You know, I guess comparing it to ball and where I am now, we built up a game of some can lead vocally,
Yeah.
and some can lead by what they do. Let their actions speak louder than their words. And some people can do both at the same time. So I feel like right now, like it's exactly that. Like I feel like that leadership as role as for me, I have to set an example.
Yeah.
You know, with me want to be a business owner, I can't expect to open a business and me just tell somebody what the standard gonna be, and they automatically gonna get it. No, like you have to be working side by side with somebody, and showing them, okay, this is what we're gonna be about, and it's easy for them to know what their role is gonna be about, is because you're doing it. You actually walking the walk, that, you know, and talking the talk. So I feel like those one of those things in my life right now that is big as far as leadership. Me actually being what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. It's just leading by example. I mean, there's no, I feel like, better tip than that when it comes to leadership, and especially taking that off the field, man. It's like you can't, you know how it is being on the team where you got somebody who's harping and doing all the talking, but they ain't making no plays. You know what I mean?
So it's a thin line, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's a thin line. So it's like, you know, you want to say this, but you know, you got to get something to back it up for it first.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, okay, whatever you did last year, that was cool, but what you doing now?
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that I learned from the game. Like, okay, what have you done lately?
Yep, that's real.
Instead of living in the past. So, what I did yesterday don't even matter. What I'm doing going forward, that's the only thing that matters, good or bad.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Well, that's awesome, bro. The next question I have for you just really touches on the transition side and how you've managed to build your new personal brand and really rebrand yourself, man. I think for so many of us, it's so tough um, to make that transition into whatever career or whatever passion we have after the game because we spend so much time focusing on just one thing. And so going back to what you said earlier, when you said you picked up those pair of Clippers, I think your sophomore year in college, like how important was that in terms of now where you are with your new career field?
Well, I when I first picked them up, I was in the 10th grade.
Yeah, 10th grade. Yep.
And where I'm at now, I mean, like, I was able to go back to like my passion. It was something that I love to do. I love the way somebody get in the chair, look in the mirror, and feel better about themselves. If it's just for them, or they got a hot date, or they're finna go for a job interview, whatever it may be, I got a kick out of making somebody feel better about themselves. Well, with everything was going on, I know in the NFL, all of us have been playing football for so long.
Yeah.
Well, the struggle is, what are we going to do next? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to be? What avenue we're going to take? What I want to be out here doing. And a lot of guys don't know. A lot of guys, they may concentrate on, just playing ball. Even guys that have their degree. I had a degree in business, and, if I want to make it to the NFL, I was still looking around like, oh, shoot, what's going to happen next? You know what I'm saying? What am I going to pursue? And I graduated. Actually, I graduated a semester early, so I had a semester of just taking whatever classes, and I still didn't know what I was going to do if I didn't play in the NFL.
Yeah.
So when I got that opportunity, instead of focusing on, the main things like, oh, shoot, what can I do to make a lot of money? What can I do? Boom, boom, boom. I kind of just got to the point and just looked at, this is what I love to do. And we always talk about how football is work, but it ain't really work because usually we love to do it when the fun is in it. When the fun is out of it, then it's work. Then you're like, oh, shoot, I got to wake up early in the morning. I got to go in. But when you love it, shoot, you don't need no alarm clock.
Yeah.
You jumping up, you know what I'm saying? So that's what Barber did for me. So it was only for me to look at it in a bigger light and like, okay, now how can I think outside the box?
Yeah.
How can I brand myself? How can I do something to be a part of this game that I love so much, that brought me so many friends, and took me so many places in my life? How can I stay connected? And through whatever business that I was going to do, I wanted to stay connected, and this was my way to stay connected.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. And I think one thing that definitely stuck out to me, what you just said, is how you were proactive instead of reactive when it came to just your brand and finding your passions and everything. Because I think that's one of the problems with us or with anybody when you think about it, who's working a job that they've been on for a long time that requires a high level of focus. It's like you don't really get the time to take a step back and think about what your other passions are and almost kind of planning, for what if that job or that career you have doesn't work out? Am I able to transition into something else and still generate revenue and still be a part of, what I was doing before, or using those transferable skills? And so that's the amazing thing that I've seen with you. Even though barbering and NFL got nothing to do with each other, you still found a way to kind of merge the two, which is awesome.
And it goes to one of the things you said, is really planning ahead.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, one of the things I realized, I feel like all the guys that have played 10 years or more, they get it. Around year 8, they start building relationships and networking. So when they are done, even if it's 12 years, boom, they jump right into it. And one of my things was, if you don't do that, if you're gonna spend at least 2 years trying to build relationships, and then probably by that third or fourth year, then you'll get the job.
Yep.
And a lot of times, I feel like that's what happened to us in the NFL. We don't have nothing to direct ourselves towards as far as working, et cetera. So, you know, you go so long without a job, and everybody knows what happened then. You know, no matter what kind of lifestyle, et cetera, you live. So I always felt like once I caught that, you know, and I just shift my focus and reprogram my mindset, then I was able to just rub enough elbows and build relationships. Should I start it early in my career? Yes, I should have. Should I ever put my Clippers down when I first came in the NFL? No, I shouldn't. I should not. I should have just kept cutting when I got drafted. And who knew? You know what I'm saying? Whoever know what kind of relationships I would have built, what kind of stuff I would have been a part of. But, you know, you live and you learn. And then you just go for it. So, you know, I was blessed enough with that last opportunity in Chicago to play there, and I just kept cutting. I never stopped cutting when I was in barber school, and I was in barber school, got a call from Chicago, dropped out of school, went to Chicago, got cut again last preseason game, went back to school. 5 weeks later, got another call from Chicago, went back, and only thing I did consistently throughout the process, I just kept cutting. You know, just kept cutting. As soon as that season ended, you know, I got my master barber's license, and you know, that's been the focus. You know, just never put them down. You know, so.
Man, that's awesome to hear that, bro. And it sounds like you did a lot of just going back and forth, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but you learned how to basically operate in both worlds, which is amazing and a great thing to know a great skill to have, being able to maximize the gifts that you have, because a lot of people can't do that.
True. Hey, that's why it's a gift.
Yeah.
He blessed me with that for a reason. You're a great speaker. It's only right that you speak. Why would you go do something that has nothing to do with your gift?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, the next question I have for you just really is concerning like that, developing that competitive edge. When I think about you as a barber and you as an athlete, and you know, you play defensive back, which I know is a constant grind in terms of perfecting your craft and in terms of continually improving. And when I think about being a barber, it's the same thing. You got to continually perfect your craft. Everything is about detail and about precision. You know, one wrong move and somebody head messed up, and then same thing at DB. One wrong step and it's a touchdown. So I'll love to hear.
It ain't about how you. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah. So I just want to know, you know, what are some of the things that you've done, you know, it could be on the field and as a barber, to kind of perfect your craft and then continually improve and set yourself apart?
Well, like you say, one of them things that we have as athletes is it is the competitiveness, but it's also the work ethic. It's the stuff that people don't see.
Exactly.
At football, we go in there, we watch film, we study a guy from the way he stands, from which foot he got up, to what kind of routes he runs, what's in his demeanor, what's something he's not likely to do, what's something he's likely to do, you know, how he carries himself, etc. Same things go for barbering. You go in and, you know, you do a thorough consultation. I'm looking at the hair. I'm looking at the way it grows. I'm looking at cowlicks. I'm looking at bald spots. I'm looking at the condition of the scalp. You know, all that little stuff actually is a carryover from football. It's the paying attention to detail. Now, you know what? You will slip out there when you're covering a receiver. You will, your eyes will get blinded in the light. Just like when you're cutting a fade or you cutting a hair, you can cut one area lower than the other. You can, you know what I'm saying, have to make adjustments in the middle of the play, but we always been taught it's not about how you start, but it's about how you finish. So even in the midst of adversity, you still can come out on top. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes, you know what, if you ain't had your best day, you know, you got to have a short-term memory. You realize you come back and you analyze the situation just like you analyze film. You realize where you messed up at, what part of your game you need to work on. And then guess what? If you play that team again or the next team that comes up, you know what I'm saying? You on your P's and Q's. You know what you need to work on, and you know you don't want to make the same mistake twice because it's a copycat league.
Oh yeah.
They see one weakness, they're gonna keep coming at you. You know.
Oh yeah.
So that's just all the stuff that we learned that I feel like goes into like everyday life.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Like you said, there's so many nuggets of wisdom in everything that you just said. Definitely having a short-term memory and being able to have that next play mentality, man. That's huge. Whether you're on the football field, or as a barber.
Hey, and make no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Hey, own it. You own it, and then you make it better. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta own it.
That's awesome, man. Well, the next question I have for you is if you could leave, any pieces of advice for anyone who's thinking of going in your career path, it could be football or barber-related career path, what would that be?
Any advice?
Yeah, if you could talk to your younger self.
My younger self.
Yeah.
You know what? As far as I tell you the same. I tell my younger self the same thing that I was told, but I would still handle it a little different. I was told that to never get satisfied. You know what I'm saying? You always could get better. Don't never feel like you made it.
Yeah. Until
it's over. The day that I retired, year one when I got drafted second round, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have been like I made it.
Yeah.
After everything I had been through, I ended up getting 6 years. I'm retired. Now I can look back and say I made it. You know what I'm saying? But when you in it, you ain't never made it. You know what I'm saying? You still at it. You still proving yourself.
Yep.
So, right now as a barber, I can have all these things going on. I can get on this, networking. I can be doing so many things that people didn't even, know that you could do through barbering.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know what? Stay humble, continue to grind, and don't never feel like you just made it until it's over.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Keep that same work ethic, keep that same focus. The moment I feel like I done had that moment to where, you know what I'm saying, I felt like I made it, and it makes you relax. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the same grind and same focus that, that you did when you was hungry, when you was trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? So then you have to go back and reprogram yourself. So, just never feel like you made it, and you just do the same thing that got you there.
That's awesome,
that would
man.
be my
I appreciate
advice.
That's good stuff, man. The next question I had just kind of popped up in my head because for a lot of people who are just hearing about you for the first time, Sherrod Martin, the barber, the NFL barber, I just want you to talk about some of the players across the league who you've had the opportunity to work with and just how you've been able to build and maintain those relationships because, as you know, it's all about relationships.
It is. I think as far as just building relationships, I feel like just being genuine. I feel like when you're being genuine, like people can feel that. You know what I'm saying? As far as, man, honestly, as far as like staying connected with the community and stuff, I mean, it's just like playing ball. People see your work ethic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They see your grind. They see what you got going on. They see the campaign. They say the ones that know you, the ones that know you usually be the last ones to get on board. You know what I'm saying? And like, so for me, it's just been doing what you do.
Yeah.
Carrying yourself right, handling yourself like a business. You're a business.
Yeah.
Since day one we was born, we've been a business. So it just been keeping my name clean. Because don't nobody want to be around nothing negative.
Yeah.
And, just continue to grow. They see the work ethic. And the crazy thing is, guys that I ain't talked to in a while, guys that, you know, they might be in California, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. They be like, bro, when I come to Atlanta, we got to link up.
Yeah.
I got to get one of those cuts. So it's like, you know, it's just like, you know, stay down and do you and be genuine and, you know, real recognize real. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we all just link up like it's love. You know what I'm saying? The love is in the air, and it's a fraternity. Being in the NFL, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that we got on our resumes that'll stick around for a lifetime. So if you can do something negative, and if you happen to be on the news, the first thing they're gonna say is former NFL. Why we can't do that for something positive?
Right.
So
exactly. Now, that's true right there, man. Who are some of the guys who you've had the opportunity to work with? Just for those who are listening.
Oh man, one of my biggest clients ever is Mr. Rennie Curran. Like Mr. Rennie Curran is like
I mean, besides me.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, hands down is, you know what I'm saying? He's like my Pro Bowl of clients. Like, man, you know, just a super all-star guy, super all-star dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, just on top of everything, great mentor, all that.
I appreciate that.
Man, you know, no doubt. But I had the opportunity to work with a lot of guys, man. I mean, guys I played with, guys I hadn't played with, guys I never met. Sometimes, you know, we meet for the first time. Honestly, too many to name because I wouldn't want to leave nobody.
Call them out. Call three. Your top three, man. You're up.
No, bro, look, bro. I done cut over right now. I done cut over 40-some guys.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And like, honestly, I'm grateful to even have the opportunity to cut one out of all those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Out of all those 40 plus. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate everybody for their support.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the knowledge that we're able to have when we sit in a chair, if it's anything business related, if it's anything to help me to be a better husband, a better father, and the conversations that come from are just being better people. You know what I'm saying? Reprogramming. If it's, you know, from helping the youth to, you know what I'm saying, pulling guys along that's struggling or you know, just to maintain focus, even though, you know, and even just encouragement when things don't seem like they falling into place right now. That don't mean like it. Just give it a little more time. It's not like it'll never come. So like out of all the NFL guys, you know, man, I'm just grateful. Former, retired players, active players, like, oh man, like.
Yeah. Now you know. You had some amazing guys, man, that's been in your seat. Man, I see, you know, Garrison Hurst, Sean Witherspoon. I mean, you name it, you definitely have.
I mean, like just all over. You know, you think about how many guys in the NFL. Like, like, you know, you can never just name anybody. But I will say this though, I had an opportunity to talk to Garrison Hurst. And I was asking him the same question we get asked all the time from fans or reporters. So I'm just kicking it with G. Hurst. And I'm, you know, I know you're a Bulldog, so, you know, y'all Bulldogs stick together.
Yes, sir.
And I was talking to him. I was like, man, who won the, you know, one of the best linebackers you went up against? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, he was telling me story. He was telling me play by play. And, you know, from playing in the game, it just felt like I could feel it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't play running back, but I just knew what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? When it's in between cadence and you know what I'm saying, that ball just snapping, how things move. And the guy that he said was Jesse Tugger.
Oh yeah, my guy.
From went to Valdosta State, but he's from Griffin, Georgia. He's one of them guys that I looked up to, that I seen do it, that I could do it. And when he said that, like, oh man, like I just lit up.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, he where I'm from. You know, we big on representing. You know what I'm saying? You know, us Georgia boys, we argue with Florida boys all the time about who played the best football. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, it was just one of them things. But I will say from this experience of cutting all these guys, and if I said I cut 40 plus guys, that means I got 40 plus different stories.
Yeah, that's real.
And you know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the best parts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's why I couldn't say, oh,
mm-hmm.
him or him when the opportunities is guys I play with or guys I didn't play with, and they open up to you and let you in their lives about their families, about things they're going through, etc. I couldn't name a top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
however many I cut, that's my top. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know we all in the league and we all got there, but everybody got a different story. Ain't no story alike. And I think that what makes each NFL guy so personal.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff. And just as you were talking about the guys who sit in your seat and how they all not only have a story, but how they open up to you, man, that made me just realize how important your role is as a barber. I mean, especially in the Black community, barbers almost like therapists. It's like they transcend. You know, it's like that's where we go to get away as men.
You got to be on point, man.
Yeah.
Because in that we just say 45 minutes, you got the opportunity to speak life into somebody.
For real.
Like how you handle that situation and how you take control of it. Like it could be a difference maker.
Yeah.
You know. And my grandmama told me growing up, you know, one thing she told me, she passed away when I was in college. And one of the things that stuck with me, she's like, oh, when you get married, I'm going to live with you. And it sticks out to me now because I'm married, you know, I have my son. And it's like, dang, you know, she always stick in my head when I, you know, think about my family and stuff and situations. She told me that I was going to be a pastor, a preacher. You know, preaching. But one of the things I realized, that barber chair is like my personal pulpit.
Oh yeah, so ministry. Yeah.
So what I realized is you ain't got to be in the pulpit to be a preacher.
Yeah.
You could be in the school. You could be out there on the football field. You know what I'm saying? You know, it just everybody got a platform. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? On whatever level you want to look at it. Even if they say when a preacher preaching one time, even if I just reach one of you, my job is done. So you don't need no crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 people, but
that's awesome, man.
It's all about what we do, the platform that we have. So
Exactly. That's such a great point, man. And that's what I really wanted people to understand through this show and through this platform of Game Changer is that it don't matter what industry you're in, what you're doing, you have the chance to like impact somebody's life. You don't have to be on this platform, like you said, in front of 1 million people. It's just by doing what you do, like you said. And that kind of leads me into my next and final question for you, man. What does being a game changer mean to you?
What does being a game changer mean to me? A game changer.
Yeah, man.
A game changer. That's a good question. And you can get deep. You can get deep.
Go ahead and get deep on it.
What does a game changer mean to me? Well, I'll say this, man. Pretty much just piggybacking off what we just said. You know what I'm saying? You know, at the end of the day, sometimes it's just being real. And I think you can be a game changer. You ain't gotta, I don't have to speak, you know, I don't have to be this, I don't even really know how to put it.
Yeah.
But I be telling people sometimes, you know, like when they tell me stuff that, man, your testimony alone, you know, I changed somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? And to me, sure, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me sharing my experiences with you, or me and you both sharing our experiences with this younger kid coming up, no matter race or gender, us sharing our experiences, that changes his life. Changing his life, I feel like it's being a game changer.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because our experiences, they say the best ones that learn who can learn by not experiencing.
Hmm. For
So
real.
it's on us to share. Because in the end of the day, I'm not perfect. So I
Yep.
don't want to come from a place of being perfect. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I had a chance to hear Troy Vincent speak, and he opened up about his testimony. He
Mm.
opened up about what he went through. And I was told that day that in order to reach somebody, you got to give a piece of yourself up.
It's real.
And to me, that's a game changer.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And thank you so much for being on the show, bro. Last thing before we end this great interview, man, how can the listeners out there, how can they get in touch with you? How can they follow you? How can they come get a haircut? All that.
Oh man, that's this is the easy part. Well, on social media on Instagram, my IG name is at Sherrod Martin, SHERROD MARTIN. My Twitter is at Sherrod Martin with the number 23 at the end. And also within all those, I do have my website, SherrodTheBarber.com. And in those social media, it is an email contact. You can email me. I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia. The official NFL barber. Hey, things in life, you got to claim it sometimes.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I'm around, man. I'm here to stay.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, that's good stuff, bro.
Oh, and one last thing, be on the lookout for Superb Grooming Studio coming to Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey.
Opening up my first barbershop / studio.
Nice. Well, you already know I'm
Be
gonna
on
be
the
there.
lookout for that. Hey
Yes.
man, I told you, man. Hey, my Pro Bowler, client, man.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Rennie Curran.
Oh man, thank you so much. Oh yeah.
Thank you. Hey, bro. Thank you for the opportunity, man. Keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing. I love your movement. I love your passion. I'm telling you now, you're not only inspiring the youth. You set a great example for your daughter, but you're doing it for some adults out here too. You know what I'm saying? No matter the cards you dealt, you playing the cards the best way you can, and that's what it's a great example that you're saying for all of us. So keep up the good work, bro.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate that, and thank you once again for being on. Wish you the best. You continue in your career, man, and you inspiring so many too, bro. So just want to commend you for that. Salute you. And yeah, God bless.
God bless you too, man. Thank you again.
All right, bro. And there you have it. That was my good friend, brother, personal barber, Mr. Everything Superb, Sherrod Martin, on the interview. So excited, so thankful to have him on the show. And one of the biggest takeaways I got from doing the interview with him was just the ability we all have to use our platforms for something bigger than ourselves, for something bigger than just a title. And he really talked about just how, being a barber and having people come and spend that time with him, it makes him, by virtue of him sharing his story and using his platform for good, it makes him bigger than just a barber. It makes him something more. And that's what I really believe a game changer is. And I hope that you take that to heart and start to apply that to your life and whatever you're doing. And so once again, I just want to tell you, thank you, everyone out there who's listening, who's been locked in from the get-go. We're 7 episodes in now, and I really, really want to take this opportunity to let you know that it's so important for me to hear your feedback so that I know that I'm going in the right direction with everything that I'm doing, that I'm asking the right questions, that I'm utilizing, every skill, every resource that I have to make this the best show possible. Because at the end of the day, I'm not just trying to do this for fun. I want to really reach a level where I'm reaching the masses. So I hope that you'll help me do that. And I'll leave you all with this, as I always do, that if I can ever help any business owners, any professionals out there, any student athletes who are currently in high school, in college, or whatever it is, any professional athletes who are getting ready to transition, I'm always here. And I can be reached by Instagram at Rennie Curran, on Twitter at Rennie Curran 53. include my website. I gave it to you guys earlier in the show, but I'll give it to you again. It's renniecurran.com. And that concludes our show for today. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Game Changers podcast.